Do the count. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
This evening, we don't really need to introduce them all, but I will. Tonight, you have myself and John. And we have the lovely Michelle joining us. We have the lovely Kathrine joining us and the lovely Chris from the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research.
All four of us.
I know. Lucky tonight to have so many guests on. So please make sure you ask your questions. And before I go on, I know I repeat myself every single time, but please click on the StreamYard.com, which is in blue writing at the top of your screen, so that when you do comment, like Jen Lowe, good evening, we know who you are. So when we read out your questions, we can actually ask them from you, rather than a Facebook user. So, how is everybody? Kathrine, how are you?
I'm good. It was beautiful weather today for Scotland.
Yeah.
And how are you enjoying sunny Scotland, Chris? As it is actually sunny Scotland for a change.
Yes, it has been absolutely wonderful. I am loving it. I went out to
Dunfermline.
yeah, that's where I went today by bus, and I enjoyed it. Walked around outside, enjoyed the weather, had a bit of fish and chips. It was wonderful.
That's good. Cool.
I think you must have brought the sunshine with you.
Yeah,
Well, I
definitely
think
did.
it's sunny Brazil, so yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you, Michelle? What have you been up to?
Just kind of working, enjoying the sunshine here in Iowa. Didn't get any fish and chips, so just walking around outside enjoying the sun.
And John, what have you been up to do today? Have you been out on your travels?
Yeah, no travels today. I've had to organise something today, but yeah, it's been really warm, very warm, I'd say the least. So yeah.
So I'll let John start and ask any questions he may have. I am going to be, I'm just going to share the link everywhere to everyone to make sure everybody sees it.
Yeah, let's get your questions in as well, people. Let's have some interaction here. I suppose we'll start with Michelle. So, Michelle, you have previously said that you see spirits in their true state, which I would consider a nightmare. But could you explain what you mean by that to everyone watching? And have you always considered your ability to be a gift, or sometimes a bit of a nightmare?
I'm going to have to say a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I feel that it's a gift at certain times, and at other times I kind of feel like it is a nightmare. When it just, especially as a child, it was more of a nightmare. Now that I can understand it more and know how I can use it to help others, I will call it a gift.
Mm. I mean, have you got any views on that one, Karen? How do you think about that one? Seeing in actual true state, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Michelle. I think being when you're young, for you and for you, Kathrine, when you were younger, it was more of the scare factor, I guess, because it was something you didn't understand. You didn't really know what you were doing, and was this normal? Kind of
to guide you and help you, because everybody was a bit closed-minded about it and didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what. I mean, Michelle again. Sorry, you believe in demons, and you're a bit of a demon hunter. So, a very
demon
big question.
Hunter, I like
yeah, the demon hunter. A big question for you: what does your typical demon look like?
Okay, so what I see and put them in the categories of demons. Now, when we talk demons, I talk demons in different types of faiths.
Yeah.
But when I see them being that negative energy and demon, they have different shapes and forms. I see them pretty like real dark black, scaly. I see the long like fingers. I don't really see like a long tail like some people do, but I do see them very tall. To me, they look almost 10 feet tall, and they're always crouched over.
Mm-hmm.
So, and each one has its own identity for me, depending on what they're doing to the family or that person they're attached to. Sometimes I see them with these little leechy things coming out of their body that kind of attaches to people.
Yeah.
Like it's, sucking all their energy and things out.
I was going to say, do you mean like suckers, that type
like
of
suckers, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and then of course, Catherine's favorite, I do see like the little crawlers, which I call the minions. And the reason is because they do all the little, the work. They're the ones that cause all the havoc and do all the knockings and throwing things and putting the scare into people. Mm-hmm. So they kind of change shapes and forms for me depending on what actual type of demon I'm dealing with. Or darkness, actually.
Yeah. I mean, one of the popular ones that a lot of people see is, of course, the monk, the dark monk. Do you think there's any reason for that? Do you think there's a particular reason for that, anyone?
I honestly think it's a perception. Our minds want us to, with our minds and our eyes, we have to try whatever we're seeing.
Yeah.
We're trying to put a face, a form to it, so we can process it ourselves.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think when I see them in certain ways, it's just the way I process of how those demons look. And I think it goes along for anybody when they start seeing it. It's just the process of your mind, your eyes, to, because of that disbelief of what you're seeing.
Yeah. That's true. Anyone
In
else?
my very first case, when I was 16, we got a picture in the master bedroom of a dark figure that looked exactly like a monk.
Mm.
Wow.
These things,
Yeah.
I think there's something viscerally terrifying about that hooded figure that you can't make out the features, and it affects you. I think that's perhaps why
Absolutely.
it appears that way.
I agree.
And
There's so many teams out there in the UK that have pictures of monks on an investigation. It's just so many. It's got to be quite common now. Anything, Karen, you would like to ask a question? No?
Because that is, back to add on to what you just said, yeah. If anything, that's the one that comes up quite often, isn't it?
Yeah.
It tends to.
It comes to us a lot, doesn't it? So I thought you might want to say something. We've all mentioned the fact that we're about to go to lockdown, possibly yet again. So if anyone is having trouble out there with the troubles from spooks and that, is there anything that they can do themselves to help protect themselves while lockdown is on?
Absolutely. You want to or shall I? Yeah, absolutely. The thing to remember, if you're going to do a house cleansing, first off, you want to keep your house actually physically clean and uncluttered.
Yeah.
You should allow energy to flow freely in your home. So clean out anything you're not using for a long time. If you haven't used it in 2 years, throw it away. Also, you want to raise the energy of your home because these things feed off of negative energy. And when you're in lockdown, we found an awful lot of people are ramping up the things that are going on in the home. These spirits, the ones that are actually there, are like, what the heck is going on? Why are these people all pissed off? And they're getting riled up.
Yeah.
So you want to not argue in the home. You want to play soft, relaxing music. You want to watch comedies. You want to make love. You want to give love to the people in your home. And if you're going to argue, take it outside and try to resolve it. As for if there's actually something manifesting, yet the way I teach it, and there are many, many different ways to do it, it's all based on ritual, focusing your intention through your faith. What I mean by that is, for me, I say, get a candle, a white candle if you can, light that, and for you, that should be the light of God that you are bringing into your home.
Yeah.
You then use holy water, holy oil, and you should be smudging. Now, everybody thinks you run around with some sage or dragon's blood incense or frankincense and myrrh, and that's going to do the trick. No, it works for a few hours. That's it.
That's it.
It's the ritual and the intention that matter. If you're not focused, for instance, if you're saying, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. If that's what you're doing, you're going to fail. You have to be thinking about what you're saying. You have to be focused on it. You have to believe in it. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you light the candle, then you light whatever you're using to smudge it, whether it be Palo Santo, dragon's blood, less dragon's blood incense, frankincense and myrrh, or white sage is fine.
Amber.
Amber and benzoin. And the other angels, raisins.
Resins.
Yes.
Street. So you take it and you go into one room. You start with one room at a time. You go through every single nook and cranny, every drawer, every door, everything, and you smudge everywhere. And at the same time, you're saying, by the power of God, I command you to be gone. You have no invitation here. Any invitation you feel you had has been rescinded. By the power of God, I command you to go. It's very important that you're not saying anything by your own power. You don't have any. It's got to be through the power of however you view God. It doesn't matter. God's going to come regardless of what your faith is, based on your faith. Then you mark each door and window. I, being a Christian, use the sign of the cross with either holy water or holy oil. But you can just make a swipe, and then you move on to the next room. And once you've done every single room in the house, then you get some blessed salt, and you surround the entire home. And if you happen to be a Catholic or somebody who believes in saints, get some blessed Saint Benedict medals and bury them at each corner of the house. These set up psychic barriers and seal the home. That's what you're actually doing when you do this ritual. You're first expelling the spirit, and then you're setting boundaries so they cannot come back in.
Becoming a Christian, when you're pagan or wiccan, you can have some just letting one here to show them as well. Red jasper and red agate. Take about 4 of each and put them at the 4 corners of the house.
Okay. And when you say, I was always taught to start from the outside and work your way in. Is that how you would? I
just go from room to room to room and
I
do the always well.
Start at the top, or the furthest back, or the top, depending on the levels, and work your way out, because you want to open the door or the window leading out, because you're pushing it out.
Pushing it out.
Yeah. Closed.
Yeah.
A lot of people
doors
keep
and
everything
windows
closed.
open.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was always taught to make sure your doors and your windows are open.
Always.
Yeah.
We get
Other
people
people say you
call
should
us.
have a window open in the last room you do.
Yep,
And then when
that's
you
one.
close that, when you're done, it is ritually sealing the home completely. Again, it's all about your intention. The ritual can be different from religion to religion to religion, and that's fine. They all work. It's based on you having that focus and calling on God through your faith to set up these limits.
Okay.
Okay, lovely. So ask another one now. Have any of you had a case or an investigation which took you by surprise? So it wasn't exactly what you expected as the outcome.
Have we ever had a case where we didn't get the outcome we expected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Realistically, it's all about the people you're dealing with and what they're willing to put forth to help themselves. The battle is theirs. We're there to help. We're there to guide. We're there to bring in other resources. But if they're not willing to also make that fight, we can't help them. There's always underlying issues that need to be dealt with. Whatever those underlying issues are, maybe it's just teenage angst. And that's getting the spirits riled up, and now we've got a poltergeist going on. Or maybe it's mental illness or drug abuse or domestic problems. Whatever it is, you have to deal with it.
And sometimes the clients, I won't say they lie, but they do hide some things because they feel too embarrassed or they don't want to talk about it. So you're going in a case and you're thinking, okay, I've got this, and then all of a sudden it just hits you in the face, and you're like, okay.
That happens every place.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that as a researcher, that nobody's going to just open up and give you the deepest, darkest secrets the first time you talk to them. That just doesn't happen. It would be unreasonable to do that. You know, it takes time to earn their trust.
Yeah. I mean, Michelle, yourself, you had the Salience investigation, which didn't go quite as expected.
Yes. It was one where even though we spoke to the clients over and over and knew there was a piece missing, they kept some things hidden. And that kind of made the investigation take a couple different turns, you know. So when you're trying to help someone and they, you know, keep certain things, it gears you in different directions. So we try everything we can to get everything out as possible, but you always have that somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like lying to your doctor. It is counterproductive, and it's just not going to help you.
Okay, that's good. Well, tonight I actually have 3 mediums on the screen today, which is very rare for us. So, Chris, you might be able to help me with this one, as this is me and you. If I was to take all 3 of you, mediums that is, and put you in a very, very haunted location, in the same room together, would you all be able to pick up on the same spirit? In the same way? If not, why not?
You can answer that.
I can honestly say that
I think Chris can.
Michelle and Kathrine will absolutely pick up on the same stuff all the time. I don't let them talk to one another on a case until after they've spoken to me. And they're always...
If I strongly believe, depending on how we see things, if you have a connection with whoever you're with, you're there bound together to protect each other. So I honestly believe whatever gifts each one has, it can crisscross. And I think that is because that's kind of our way of protection.
Yeah.
I'm going to see more of the darker side of things. I know Kathrine will see what I'm seeing on the darker side, but she might see a couple different things that I didn't catch. And, you know, the same with Karen, you know, if we started working with her, we would start getting that, you know, bond. And that bond, I think, with the energy between it, we would be able to help each other. And we kind of want it to be different because that's the only way, you know, we can figure out the puzzle.
Yeah. Scientifically, it's called telepathy. So when we're in the same room, we automatically become receivers and senders at the same time to each other. So whatever vision I'm thinking, I'm sending it to Michelle and I'm projecting it to Karen and vice versa.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Well, John, as you know, with us, we all interlink together.
We do, yeah.
Myself and Jolene on our team, we don't even need to be together to do that. We're very odd.
Yeah, I mean,
Michelle and Kathrine are on different continents, and they sync up constantly. It isn't a matter of physical location.
Yeah,
It's a
having
matter of being
connection.
together mentally.
I mean,
Yeah.
we do see this a lot in the team, so I just wondered if it was just locally with our team or whether it was just general and it went to it all the same.
The only time I didn't see that really work well is when you do get some psychics out there, just like paranormal investigators, that have a big ego
Yeah.
and think that their abilities is better than someone else's. That can actually cause problems. But when you have unity, it actually works amazingly, and
Absolutely.
it protects you as your team, but it also helps the clients too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is the
As
most
John
important
already
thing.
knows, ego is right in our code of ethics as something
Yes.
we need at the door.
Yeah.
We cannot be effective when ego is driving us.
It doesn't work. It never will. So
No,
never will.
you have to come together as a team, as one, to be effective at the end of the day and have the same goal and the same principles
Yeah.
for anything
It's
to
going to
work.
be about the family, the client, always.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's where that's the number one thing, isn't it? You know, that's what you're there
Yeah.
for. And you have to protect them more than anyone else.
Absolutely.
They are always
Okay.
the priority.
Yeah. So let's take you away from the paranormal as in spiritual for a little while. So let's talk about other things. Do either of you, or any of you rather, sorry, have any thoughts on ufology or the existence of aliens or anything else? Or is it just spiritual?
No, I believe them. I believe they exist. I've seen two.
She actually posted a video with her husband about 3 or 4 weeks ago on an extraordinary event right outside the window. I couldn't get over it. I definitely am a believer. You cannot have, there are more. I say this all the time. It's a fact. There are more planets in the universe than there are grains of sand on Earth. Of course, there's life out there. Of course, there is, and there's overwhelming evidence that it has visited us. I mean, there are U.S. presidents who've admitted it. There are Department of Defense ministers in England who've admitted it, and Canada, and the United States, and Brazil, and Mexico, and Peru. They all come forward and have admitted these things. We know it's there. It's hard to believe that there are people out there who don't believe.
Absolutely.
With the overwhelming evidence.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I thought I'd better ask that one for my friend Russ. So he's a ufologist, and he would have gone mad if I didn't ask that question. Wouldn't he, Karen?
Yeah, I've got a few questions of my own, but there's also a couple of questions that have come up.
Yeah, there were some.
In the comments. So I'm just going to move to those, if that's okay with everybody. Sharon Edwards, she'd like to know, said hi all to begin with, and she'd like to, do you think places can be over-investigated? This question comes up quite often.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I think
It's also
it so
disrespectful.
shifts. I believe it shifts because the more people investigate and the different things that they do, they start bringing in different things. So if it was just an old lady and a husband that just didn't want to leave, as you start bringing more and more investigators, you start opening little portals to let other things come through too.
Yeah, agreed on that one.
100%, yeah.
Okay.
You shouldn't treat spirits like an amusement park. They're people. They're just like you and me,
That's right.
and they need to be treated with respect. They're not there to be a pony doing a trick for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. You should be respectful at the end of the day. Is whether they're there or whether they're here, you should treat them exactly the same.
I mean, normally when we go on investigations, we treat them as family, as we would family. And if you do that, you can't go wrong. You've got to have the respect there for them.
Absolutely.
And if you haven't, then you shouldn't be doing it. It's quite simple.
No.
Yeah.
And I hold my hand up and I'll say that. That's my opinion. And
Absolutely, yeah.
I stick
Oh, we
by.
agree with you. We all
100%, yeah.
Yes.
100%.
We got another one. Gary Field, which is a good friend of ours. He's so where would you guys say is the heaviest energies in places you've experienced? And where is the strong? Two questions in one, Gary. One, we're not surprised. And where is the strongest white light you've experienced upliftment?
Yeah. I didn't quite.
I put it up for you because it was quite a long one. So if we have the first one, where have you been that's had the heaviest of energies to begin with?
The Church of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre had overwhelming energy in Jerusalem.
Wow.
Sorry.
And that was a beautiful energy, but it was overwhelming. From millennia of people praying and devoutly worshiping. That was a beautiful place. I'm not sure what you meant by the second question, and I'm going to actually just defer to everyone else at this point.
Okay. Go on, Kathrine.
Okay. Well, I haven't investigated anything here in the UK because I've only been here 2.5 weeks. So if I am to judge, I would say, if I'm to talk about it, it will be in Greece. So the most energetic place that I've been to with heaps of energy would have been in the Oracle of Delphi.
Mm-hmm.
It was unbelievable, the energy there, and what everything that was just coming back and forth from generations and years and thousands of years, and unbelievable energy.
You also saw an alien.
Yes. And the place with the biggest, I don't know. I can't answer the second question.
Okay, that's fine. Michelle?
I'm trying to think. I've been to so many places. Wow. Some of the heaviest stuff and energy I felt is working with some clients more on the darker side. Because it was overwhelming, with the energies of the clients from, sorrow, anger, being scared, plus the negative that was in there. But I gotta say, the brightest white light, I would say, is when we actually got it out of the home and it actually had the smell of the flowers and the light shining through it. So it was kind of a combination of two. But when we're working with the clients, I think that's when we feel the heaviest energies because the emotions are so rampant.
Yeah.
That's strong.
Yeah, very good.
I'm just going to continue with the comments questions before we go back to our own, so we don't lose them. Because Jen Lowe says, "How do you handle a case if you think there are issues with mental health?" Chris, can we come to you first, please?
You deal with those issues. You don't hide from it. You talk to your client honestly and sensitively, and you try to get them to get an evaluation, get needed therapy, and you explain why. Education is key.
Yeah.
Explaining why these things are important, why you need to get clean and stop using drugs because it's opening holes in your aura and it's allowing these things to latch on to you. That's really important. We're dealing with a case like that right now, where there's somebody, a couple, who are using drugs and they have manifested these things in their home, even though, as far as we can tell, there's no actual entity. There may be paranormal activity, but it is being caused by these two people who are overwrought and projecting a great deal of energy. So you have to be honest, always. But you also cannot tell them everything. And I make that clear to my clients as well. And that they often get upset. But the truth is, we say, look, my job is to help you. If I explain it all to you right now, then it could just create fear. And fear is the enemy here. So I will answer all of your questions when we are done. But right now, please just follow what we're telling you to do. This is why you have to do these things. I can't get into more than that.
Okay. That covers that. Okay. So, is there anything else you wanted to ask John before I carry on?
No, that's fine. That's fine. You carry on. I know you got some things to do.
Okay, I want to go and start talking about the foundation itself, if that's okay with you guys. So when exactly, just so anyone that doesn't know, when exactly was the foundation set up?
5 or 6 years ago, I was dealing with the Conjuring movies coming out, and we were getting requests from all over the world for help. And I went to my grandmother, and I said, "Hey, look, the New England Society for Psychic Research is great, but it's local. And also, people don't know New England around the world. They don't know what that is. I want your name to live. I want your legacy to continue." And she loved the idea. And the idea of creating a network around the world with people who are dedicated, who follow the same ethics that my grandparents did. Don't charge people, protect the client first, things of that nature. And so that's what we did. It's blossomed tremendously since then. We've got 2 psychic support groups, one in English, one in Spanish. These are for people who have gifts and either want to help develop them or want to help others either develop them or suppress them. Because, there are plenty of people who just suffer overwhelming anxiety because of their empathy. And we have to deal with that as well. That comes from my psychology background. Yeah, I saw that problem and I just felt that was a good thing for us to do. Beyond that, our job is to recruit new members, to educate the next generation, and to help educate the public so they don't get hurt, and to help families in need. That's it. That's what the entire mission of the foundation is all about.
Yeah.
And you do your regular Zoom meetings and things, don't you, as well, for people to join. Anyone that doesn't know about those, can you just explain about the Zoom meetings that you do and why you do them and how people can get involved if possible, please?
Michelle, go ahead.
Because again, Kathrine or Michelle, I was going to say, whatever you say.
Yeah, Chris talks too much, damn it.
No, she cut out a little bit, so I didn't catch the whole.
Oh, sorry. I said I was saying about the Zoom meetings that you do online to help people and the education. I said, how do people get involved with those? And can you tell us a little bit more about them, please?
Yeah, the Zoom sessions, they're free every Monday, and we put them out and we kind of give a little description of what maybe our topic is for that day. It doesn't mean we stay on that topic. As we have guests come in, we want it to be an open forum. So if they have questions, they can either type them or unmute and talk to us, it puts a little bit more of a personal touch. And sometimes because of that, having them in the Zoom, they're sometimes be able to ask a question that they might not want to put on a comment on a Facebook page. So we found out that, it's getting out there a little further, the stretch is going further, and we're able to do more of the educational piece. We pick that topic of, the do's and don'ts, or if you have questions about a certain thing, or we talk about different faiths, just to make sure we cover everybody. So it's just kind of an open forum for us to connect with everyone that follows us on Facebook, on YouTube, and TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and all those other little crazy things they have.
And these are, if you go to our Facebook page, every Monday, whether it be Chris McKinnell or the Warren Legacy Foundation or Riverside Iowa Paranormal or Mr. Wicks, everywhere we've got a post that tells you how to get into the Zoom session. It's the same information from week to week, so you can look at an old post that's got that Zoom link, and that'll still get you in. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. It's at 10 p.m. in London, and it's free to everybody and anybody who wants to enter. We also have it on the Warren Files YouTube channel. All of the old ones are on there. We covered everything from fairies and elementals to Annabelle and Amityville and how to properly work on a case and just about everything you could imagine. Yeah, that was this week.
Yeah, Zoom was very crazy, especially when Annabelle supposedly, escaped. That was a good Zoom session. It was amazing.
That was just crazy in itself.
2020 did not need Annabelle.
I mean, as soon as Chris came over to my house, the first thing the girls asked, "Where's Annabelle?" And it's like, we heard
she's upstairs in the bags. You want to go get her?
But 2020 would not have been 2020 without the escape of Annabelle. So I mean,
there had to be.
Had to be. I was on the internet the other day, looking on Facebook again, and this question seems to come up all the time. When can people visit the Warren Museum? No, I know you've been asked this time and time again, Chris, but could you just explain once more about the Warren Museum? Thank you.
Unfortunately, I was actually going to ask that as well. That's actually on my list. It's one of those that everyone wants to know.
A few years ago, the town of Monroe, Connecticut, changed the local zoning laws, and they made it impossible for us to open it to the public, even by special invitation. We can't even have one guest in there, or you pay, I believe it's $2,500 a day fine until we go to court. If it takes 30 days to go to court, you can see why we don't let anybody in the museum. My family's looking into finding a new place for it, but that could be a year or 2 years or 3 years from now. They're in their 70s, and I'm out and about in the world, so it's not really a priority right now.
Yeah.
It was never actually open to the public. It was only by special invitation. I think of it more as a prison. We protect the public from these items. If we just destroy the item, then we're releasing that energy. We can't destroy energy. And we don't want to release that energy. We like it trapped and anchored where it is.
Yeah. I think it's mainly because there's a certain other person who I'm not going to mention who has a museum in America and it's open to the public. And I think everyone thinks they're all the same. That's all I think it is. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about it.
Well, and to let everybody know, the Warren Foundation and Chris is still really involved in making sure that if there are any objects that have curses on them or have haunted spirits or anything on them, we actually do deal with those. So we still work with clients. We're still getting those, but we have a secret location where we have them locked up and get blessed and are taken care of. And, we are planning on down the road getting them put behind cases and stuff, but also using them for teaching, why this could have happened or anything. Now, it goes from, everybody talks about Annabelle, but if you would know some of the dolls and stuff that are coming to Chris, you might want to think a little different. So he has not stopped that type of work. And we're on a daily basis getting people that are sending those types of things, or we go there and, retrieve them. Yeah. So we still are dealing in that just like his grandparents did.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, do you quite often get people contacting you with items that they want you to take off their hands?
All the time.
Yes.
Yeah. because I know we touched on this when you did the festival interview, Michelle.
Yeah.
I asked you a little bit about that.
Can I make a warning for people?
Yeah.
Very simply, stop trying to collect haunted items. If you don't have a clue how to protect yourself from them, it's like playing Russian roulette. You're going to get hurt. And also, don't buy things on the internet that say that they're haunted, because they're almost never haunted. It's so easy to give a ghost story and say, that's what this chair is. It's going to kill you if you sit in it. Would you like to buy it for $5,000? Yes.
Or they make a different paint job on a porcelain doll to make her look creepier, and they figure if she looks creepy, she's haunted.
Thank
They're
you.
creepy anyway. Porcelain dolls are just creepy anyway. They don't have to be haunted. I just don't like them in general. I have one that's in the attic at my mum's house. I've not lived in my mum's house for, couldn't tell you how many years, but it's never left that house, and it's staying in that attic because it was a gift. My auntie's not on here, thankfully. It was a gift, and I've never liked the thing. That's why it's still at mum's, and that's where it forever stay, because I'm never having it in my house because I just don't like it. It's not haunted.
There's no dolls in this house either.
I just don't like them.
There's none in Michelle's house either. She got
There's
this.
none in Michelle's house.
Me, I've lived with Annabelle. They don't faze me.
No, dolls. I just don't like dolls in general.
No.
Okay. So what are your plans, Chris, whilst you're over here in the U? And obviously I know with COVID is basically ruining everything for everyone at the moment. But had you made plans to go up and down the country at all and go and experience?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a exorcism I've got to perform out near London, if I can. And there's a case in Ireland we've got to check out, but unfortunately, I don't know if Ireland will let us in. So we're waiting to see what happens.
And for him to perform that stuff, he has to be face to face, because just to let you know, you cannot perform an exorcism over the computer. I just want to throw it out there. People are charging to do things like this, and I've been seeing kind of an uptick about it, and it's just been blowing my mind. But yes, definitely if someone says they're going to give you an exorcism over it, no, it's not. And that's what he's got, that's what Chris is trying to deal with now, is figuring out how to get to these folks.
Yeah. Well, that was actually going to be another one of my questions, Michelle.
You mediums together.
That was actually going to be one of my questions, because obviously these are all different things that people are going to try and do or say they can do for you and so on at the moment because of the lockdowns and so on. So people are just going to make the assumption, oh yeah, you can just, because people might have heard of remote viewing and think, oh well, that's okay, they can just do it from wherever they are. They don't need to be here. But yeah, that was something else I was going to touch upon, because just to make it clear to people, this isn't something you can do over the internet, and and not just anybody. You can't just go on Google and find out how it's done and so on. It doesn't work like that. And just to make it plainly clear to people, like I said, that was something else I was going to touch upon with you both, to say, it can't be done, and the reasoning for it, because there are people out there who will say they can do things via the internet for you, which they cannot. Yeah. And
we've gotten those calls, and we've gotten the calls where they've gone bad. And, with the lockdown, it's really hard for us to get to them. Now, myself and Kathrine, we can do remote viewing, we can do psychometry, we can do that stuff so we can see what's there. We can kind of guide people of, here's some things we can do to help you or give you strength to be able to deal with it until someone gets there. but we never get on there and say, okay, bow down, this is what we're going to do. Because just like when I go to the homes, you have to be there. Your physical being has to be there so you can actually throw out that intention in that place to be able to help them. But there's a lot of things we can do remotely. But when it comes to that, it's more being, their backup, making them strong.
Yeah.
That's good. I just wanted to make that clear to.
Yes.
I know a lot of people who are watching are people we know or investigators and so on here, and they will know that. But it was just for anybody that might catch up on this tomorrow or so on. At least then, we just cleared that up. That's all. I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. Because like I said, unfortunately, that's one thing with the whole COVID situation is the fact that all these different people have come out saying they can do this and they can do that via the internet, which they cannot.
No,
Correct.
no way possible, is it?
It's a new fashion thing now, and it's like, oh, I can do this, pay me this amount of money, and I will get rid of your ghost.
Yeah.
And everybody's become psychic, and everybody can read cards.
Exactly.
That was my other. I'm glad you brought that up. That was my other one. Was the fact I've seen a lot of those miraculously appear. Every man and his dog can read for you now.
Yes.
And they can charge you X amount of money for it. So that's the other one.
And seeing that's me, I will come straight out. I cannot read the cards. There's nothing there for me, So people are like, can you do a reading for me? Well, no, the cards are not saying a word to me. They're just like, shush. So but then I look and I'm like, God, I've talked to this person for a year, never knew it, but now they read cards. They read bones. They read stones. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Funny enough, I have come across those as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we have everyone. No problem at all. There's loads out there. There's lots of people out there doing it.
Yeah, of course there is.
Yeah.
Okay. Ingrid has just commented saying, thank you, Michelle, for giving me strength and saving me. Just want to pass that on.
Thank you, and love her.
Okay.
So while I've got all three of you again together, I love this. This is wonderful. This is great for me.
This is John's loving life right now.
I love this. Now, so you all work with a team. You've all got guides, and so you call them your team. Who is part of your guide team? So who have you got? How many have you got? Who keep you safe and do all this for you and help you?
Okay. Do you want to start with you, Kathrine?
I didn't hear the question properly.
Okay.
Yep.
John wants to know, we all have guides and we have our own teams that help and support us, and he said, who have you got in your team of guides?
Michelle. And Chris. Michelle. Please just.
Go on.
That's all right.
There are a few others.
Oh, hello. I was looking at Michelle. I didn't see you sit back down.
Well, see here, I don't have a team. I'm on my own.
So,
Are you
right
talking
here.
about our
right
spiritual
here.
guides?
your spiritual guides, yeah. Sorry,
Your
yeah.
your
Your spiritual guides.
Yes, your spiritual guides.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, that's what we call them. We call them our team, rather than.
Oh, right, sorry,
Everyone's-
guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry, guys. I've got two.
Okay.
I've got a client. Her name's Antara. She's a very old soul. She was drawn by my Reiki teacher. And apparently the day that she drew her, there was an electrical storm, and she was really frightened. I've got it somewhere upstairs, the big painting. That's one of them, and the other one is there's the monk there.
Oh, cappuccino.
And I've got another one. Yeah,
Cappuccino.
it's a Spanish monk.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Go.
Well, mine's going to sound really far out, but mine are actual angels. So when I see them, I just see the bright light, but I can see the wings that stay wrapped around me. And, you know, I call upon them when I go into something. So I call them by the names that I need them in whatever order or what I do need. And I notice that they'll step forward. I do have some ancestors that kind of stay in the background and come when I need them, but it just depends on the situation. But I know that two of the biggest ones are angels.
I've never asked you, Karen, so you can know as well.
Yeah, well, actually, no, I think you have.
No, I
For
haven't,
me,
no.
I have family, which I have a couple of family I know for a fact that are always with me when I'm doing anything, especially if I'm helping someone spiritually or sending positivity to someone or sending out intentions and so on. I have my gran that is always there, and there's also my dad as well. He comes in and helps in different situations, especially things I'm getting myself into a situation that I shouldn't be, or say, don't laugh, John. So like some of the
That's scary
locations,
for me.
some of the locations we've been in, we've had one certain place we go to. We always have different things happen, and we always have new spirits that make themselves known and not so genuine, on a little bit of the darker side, then, shall we say, at times. And you know, nobody's perfect. We don't always pick up on these things. We don't always know they're there. So yeah, normally, if I'm putting myself in a bit of a situation, then he tends to pop up and help out, basically, as you know, the usual time to go, move on, or just close your mouth and step away. Normally what I get told. But yeah, like I said, my gran's been with me for a very, very, very long time now. And sometimes I do ask, obviously, like with you, Michelle, you work with the angels, you know, and I will ask the angels to come in and help and support in some situations if need be, especially if you're trying to help somebody, then I will ask them to come in and help and support as well. Just reading the comments there.
Yeah, I need to say a quick hello to Tracy and 12-year-old Aidan, who's watching at the moment. So, hi Aidan. He should be in bed by now.
I don't know who that is. Let me just have a look, because it just says Facebook user. I'm just
I've just looked at that one.
Okay, Karen. Oh, she says I have two. One is a shapeshifter ancestor from Egypt. The other is a female. But then, have you guys found that sometimes you will have different guides that will come in and help and support in different situations as well, just so people know that it's not always you have your ones that you have all the time, but just depending on the situation and circumstances, like I said about calling in the angels and so on, sometimes you do have guys that come in and they come and help you with a specific situation, and you may not see them again for years, or you may never see them again.
Oh yeah, it's happened. Like I've called up from the elementals, the elements, I've called up from the angels. So different situations, you call upon different guides.
So is it like they have a specific role when they come in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's good.
See, John's getting all these questions in that he's obviously been dying to ask because he's never asked before, because I'm getting them all tonight.
Well, that's what I'm here for. It's my job.
Okay.
Has anyone else got any questions out there? Can we bring them in? Let's get some questions asked, please. Thank you.
Yeah, get them in quick. I'm just going to move on from that, because I know that, Michelle, we were talking at the beginning of the evening, and I want to make sure everybody hears about this, about the Iowa Riverside Paranormal, which is your team.
Yes.
Which is your team. And we were discussing about a couple of events. Obviously, over here, we're not able to do that at the moment, but you have actually got a couple of events in October which are coming up, which you are able to do. just want to touch upon those and let people know what you've got going on and what you've got coming up, especially the live that you're doing.
Yes, we're actually doing a live from the Malvern Manor on Halloween night, which is actually the full blue moon. And we will be streaming that live. We have some special guests that will be coming on too. And then October 16th, to kind of get it geared up, we're going to be at the McIntyre Villa in Atchison, Kansas. And see, there would have been a third one, but they wouldn't allow Chris to come to the States because of all this COVID. So that event, which we want people to know about, is going to be really great. I'm going to be positive and let everybody know it's in March, because COVID will be gone by then and we can actually get it taken care of.
Last weekend in March.
Yes. It'll be, yes, it's the last week. And that one's going to be an amazing, because it's actually going to have, you know, we're going to be teaching things. We'll be, people will get to investigate with Chris. I mean, actual investigation with Chris. And I mean, you can't get any better than that.
No beating that one, is there?
And he didn't pay me to say that either.
I was going to say, he didn't pay. I could tell by his expression that he didn't pay you.
No.
Come on.
Great. And where is your March event taking place?
Oh, this is great. It's a former brothel and speakeasy in Rock Island, Illinois. I mean, come on, that's pretty cool. It's going to be from 7 o'clock in the evening to 3:30 in the morning, Friday night, and then again on Saturday night. We're going to have a dinner, meet and greet where we can all interact with one another. We're going to have individual seminars, and then we're going to break up about 10 or 11 o'clock at night and go out and investigate this 5-story tall building.
Wow.
And it's limited seating, and, you know, we want everybody to actually experience this. And we have great teams that are going to be there helping. Of course, I'll be there, and Katherine's going to be there, and Sarah's going to be there. And John, are you going to join us?
I wish. That'd be great, wouldn't it? I'd love that.
No, he's mine. You can't have him.
I'd love that.
Oh,
We only need him a couple of days.
You don't have to fight for me. No, don't fight for me.
He's free that weekend. Yeah, he's fine. You can, yeah, no problem. How did your event go at the weekend, Michelle?
The event went great. We were supposed to go live, and even the technical managers and stuff from the Opera House had never seen this. Everything was working great. As soon as we started trying to go live, everything zapped and completely went dark and could not get any type of electrical current. We had no internet. Everything just disappeared.
Wow.
But the people who were there had an amazing experience. We were teaching people mainly how to use their own bodies and you know, find the cues of it, not all using, you know, gadgets, but listening and feeling and stuff like that. So it actually became a really, really great event. And I've never been to an opera house that beautiful. I mean, it was built in 1890 and it was gorgeous.
Okay, we just had your link has just been put in the comments by a watcher for you, Michelle.
Okay.
It's because they haven't clicked on the StreamYard thing, so their name isn't coming up. So I'm having to keep going back to find out who it is. My phone's not updating with the comments, so I'm seeing the comments on the screen, but not on my phone now. So I'm not sure who it is. So I do apologise. Oh, there we go. It's Corinne. That's who's putting the comments up for you. Okay. And putting your group links and everything. So she's popping them all on for you. So they're all in there. Okay. I'm just checking I haven't forgotten anything or anyone or... Tracy said it's called listening to all the questions and answers, and she's loving everything you're talking about. John, was there anything else you wanted to ask?
No, really. What have we got coming over the next couple of weeks then for everyone? So, have you got any investigations at the moment you got to plan in the next few weeks, or?
It depends on COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're just hoping it doesn't go on into 2021, really.
Yeah, some odd things have been happening here. So
Yeah.
Oh, really?
In his house, yeah.
yeah, yesterday I heard somebody knock on the door twice. Nobody was there, and she's been hearing it for 2 or 3 weeks. And I heard it again 3 days ago. And
Wow.
yeah, that's okay. Ignore it.
Yeah.
We'll do a house cleansing. It'll go away.
Yeah.
It's supposed to fall to go once.
Don't give it
Oh,
energy.
fine,
Don't give it energy. Honestly, it has not been boring here.
No.
And they are. Kathrine and
parents
her
are tired
husband are
of
the best cooks you could possibly imagine. I can't eat much, but boy, am I loving what I'm eating.
Yeah, we've seen a few on Facebook, haven't we?
I've been seeing the posts. I've been seeing the pictures of your little trips out in meals and everything else. It looks like you're living the high life there, Chris. I think we need to pop up to Scotland and maybe come and stay as well. This is looking good.
You're more than welcome, guys.
Hey, I want to get back down to Yorkshire. I used to live in Thirst. I can't wait to get back.
You want to get to Yorkshire?
I miss it.
Is there anywhere particularly you're planning to go, or you want to go, or just
Well, I
want to
love York, and I want to visit Thirst again because I used to live there. But no, I just want to see it all.
There's so many places, isn't there? You know, you can never get around them all. You know.
I know.
John said he was going to lead me to a few good hauntings.
Oh yes, we can do that for you. No problem. Tracy Tracy just come on and mentioned the Bonded Warehouse, guys, where we're going quite soon, aren't we?
A week on Saturday.
A week on Saturday we're going to the Bonded Warehouse, and it is a great
You're
place.
going. I'm not going, but you're going.
You're not going.
I'm not going, but you're going.
Yeah.
We've
You're missing that one.
events. Some of the team are going, and there's a small amount of public, because obviously the new rules and so on, everything's changed.
All being well.
Yeah, I was hoping to do some seminars here, but I guess we're waiting to see what happens. It'd be nice to do some things for Halloween, have people, enjoy the season.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, exactly. I totally agree. It would be, but unfortunately, it's just at the moment. It's just.
It's going to be a day-to-day thing, isn't it? Yeah, you won't know. Each day is going to be totally different, so we can just go wait and see.
Yeah, that's the thing. Literally, I went to bed last week and I woke up and I had umpteen messages from people about the latest update. I thought, well, I don't know. I was sleeping, so I didn't see the update. So I don't know what you're all talking about. So Joanne's just coming. Hello, John. I'm going.
Yes, I know you are, Joanne.
Just rub it in a little bit more that you're going.
Tracy just said we will miss you, Karen. Well, we'll have a good night anyway. It'll be great.
You won't even notice I'm there. The only reason they notice I'm not there is because it will be quieter.
Yeah.
I haven't been to haunted for ages. I love to go to a nice haunted places. I haven't been to one for years.
Oh, really? Kathrine, you're going to have to come down.
Yeah, you have to.
One or the other. Another quick. Ingrid says, thoughts on watching haunted shows. Can that cause activity in your home? Oh,
yes.
If the door's already opened, absolutely,
yes.
Because you're feeding into it. I don't recommend them anyway. For the most part, they're all garbage. You cannot produce a haunting on a television production schedule, and they're faking it most of the time. The producer says what the actors have to do, even though it's reality, and it isn't worthwhile. I'm hoping to do something totally different, a travel program that goes around the world and explores the paranormal. At least then we have some control over it, and we're not exposing poor families to the public eye.
Very true, very true.
Okay. Right, guys. I'm just going to quickly have a look. Okay, I'm not going to read any more comments because they're just... Oh, they just all being mean to me now, so I'm just not going to read any more comments out.
It's questions we need, folks.
We need questions, not comments about me. How nice it's going to be without me. Okay, so I think I've pretty much, anything I haven't asked is because it's either been asked by the public or John's asked you. These three.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's fine. Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss or want to bring up at all? No. Catherine, what about your show? What about your show that you do on Monday evenings? You might want to give that a mention. You haven't mentioned it yet.
No, Mystical Whispers. That's on every Monday at 8 o'clock UK time. You can say the
3 p.m. in New York.
There you go.
Noon in California. And I will say this. These are 1-card, 3-minute readings that are amazingly accurate. But if you really want a good reading from this woman, then book an appointment with her. It's incredibly inexpensive, and she puts her heart and soul into it. Mm. She's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched the few. They're very good, aren't
they? Yeah, I have.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I enjoy it because it's like, as soon as I start doing the readings, I've got a mail to do, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 people. And it's like just, it's like a race, one after the other. So if you ask me afterwards, an hour or 5 minutes or 10 minutes afterwards, what did I say to each person? I would say, I can't remember shit. Sorry, I can't remember anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So nice. Oh, I got my battery.
Yeah, your battery's dying.
Okay.
There is one question on there from Mickey Rabbit, and he says, when I meet someone, I immediately get a feeling about them. Should I trust this feeling or give them a chance?
I guess it would depend on the feeling.
Yeah.
I always try to trust people first until they give me a reason not to trust them.
That's fair enough. I can't even see that one, John.
Yeah, it's on Mickey Rabbit, yeah.
Okay. Oh, she's gone.
No, it's okay. She's right here. She's plugging in the camera so that we don't lose you. There we go.
Okay. Now just have a quick look. Okay. I think we've asked all of our questions from our...
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. It's working.
Okay.
She's back.
It's the old technology again.
And Mystical Whispers, where can they find that, Catherine?
Oh, they can find me on my page, my Facebook page, which is Mystical Whispers by Kathrine Sorolis, or on Google, Mystical Whispers by Kathrine Sorolis again.
And the program is also on the Spirit Realm Network.
Yeah,
that was the one I wanted, Chris.
Yeah, I always forget that. On the Spirit Realm.
And that's on Facebook, so you just put it into Facebook, just look for it, the Spirit Realm Network, it will come up. They do lots of other shows as well, don't they? There's something for everyone, and it's on all the time. Go on.
We've got the Warren Files every Friday.
That was the next one. Go on. Yeah, I'll just you carry on, Catherine.
Just leave it to Catherine there.
She's one step ahead.
This is what I say every time I do my show on Mondays. Like, okay, stay tuned. We've got the long files every Friday, 8 o'clock UK time, and
No, not 8 o'clock
no?
UK. It's 1 a.m. UK.
Oh, 1 a.m.
God help
Sorry,
us.
1 a.m. UK time, and 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is why I suggest you go to the Warren Files YouTube channel in the UK, because who wants to stay up at 1 o'clock in the morning?
And then we've got the beautiful Michelle Bruce on After Dark.
No, Into the Dark.
Into the Dark, sorry. Into the Dark. Okay. Hey.
So, Michelle, you want to carry on with that, Michelle?
I'm promoting. I'm here. You know, give me a break.
You go, girl.
Okay. Go on, Michelle.
I know, actually, also do
My
a show on the
cheeks hurt.
Spirit Realm Network, and it's called Into the Dark with Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. We do specials on the Spirit Realm. So if we find a location that we, would deem to be a great live show, that's when we'll do those. We try to do one a month if possible, but with COVID, it's been a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So I know definitely the one for Halloween, and if we can fit another one in, then we just put out a little broadcast about it.
Okay.
I think the Halloween one's going to be very popular.
Oh yeah.
From seeing the comments earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, from seeing the comments from everybody already. So I want to say thank you to all three of you. It's very much
Thank
appreciated
you.
you taking the time out to sit in, listen to us to waffle on after you okay, me to waffle and John to ask all the questions. Stay where you are. Don't disappear anywhere yet. I'm just going to take you down on the screen and don't go anywhere. We will speak to you in just a moment. But thank you to all three of you. It's very much
Yeah,
appreciated.
thank you very much again. As
God bless
always,
you. Thank you
pleasure.
very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
And thank you for myself and John. Just while we've got you here, just for those of you that are interested in our upcoming festival in October and you want to submit an investigation video, please make sure you go onto our page and contact us and email us across to us because the closing date is coming up. Anything you wanted to add, John?
Not really. We need to get those videos on. We need to get them as soon as possible so we can get them all looked at and judged by the team, and then we'll put on the nicest ones. Don't forget these will go out internationally, so they won't be just seen in the UK. They will be seen everywhere. So let's get those. Get your teams on there. Let's see them people out there. See what you like and what you do.
And just remember, it's a completely free event, and
Yeah.
at 7 o'clock Monday to Friday every evening, we will be announcing it, I guess, every day
Yeah.
at 7. So make sure you check that out too. So
And let's
I'll thank
remember
you all for watching. Go on.
Yeah, so let's remember as well, it's a 36-hour parathon. It's a full 36-hour show. So, let's get some backing in there. Let's get some interest. Get involved with it and enjoy it. That's what it's there for.
Okay. Thank you all for watching, and we'll speak to you all and see you all soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Take care.